I don't actually have a cell phone.
You don't have a cell phone?
Well, I had a cell phone, Zan, Obs, but I lost it at the zoo. A monkey took it, and she wouldn't give it back. Yeah, Zan, the monkey was a woman. Women can be anything these days.
TBTL.
Earlier today, tragedy striking the new musical Spider-Man 2, Too Many Spider-Men. The show, billed as the most flying Spider-Man ever assembled on one stage.
It literally, like, if I'm not wearing a good outfit, I can't sing a good song.
Look at us. Me, just passing by on my way to tape a podcast, and you standing in line for an open call for a play directed by the third Affleck brother.
This is bullying, you know?
No, I bet he loves this actually because his tears taste salty and he'll just eat it.
They won't be my background vocalist. They'll like be, they'll be up front and personal.
All right, hello, good morning, and welcome everyone to a Wednesday edition of TBTL, the show that just might be too beautiful to live.
Slapjacking.
My name is Luke Burbank. I am your host.
I just love hot Cheetos!
Coming to you from the Madrona Hill studio, perched high above the mighty Columbia.
Oh, Ma, Pa, it's just beautiful.
Gorgeous August day as we've made it to episode 4,796 in a collector's series.
Let the fun begin.
Been doing this show a long time, but I think our ship has finally come in. Just hot off of the presses here. I've got an email printed out of opportunity for TBTL that is, I think, too good to pass up.
Things are going to start happening to me now.
We will get into that. Also, a news anchor in Memphis, a morning news anchor, fell asleep on air for 5 seconds.
We're just blowing through nap time, aren't we?
And the response from the public was maybe not what you might have expected. We'll talk about that, too. And we'll talk to this guy, longest-running Cobro of the show, maybe best known for his depictions of the tall ships. One of the things I love about this guy is that everything is up for conversation with him. He doesn't have any red lines, there isn't anything he refuses to talk about except one thing for some reason.
I can't know how to hear any more about tables.
He's Andrew Walsh, and he's joining me right now. Good morning, my friend.
Weirdly, tables are the only thing on my mind today, oddly. That's all I want to talk about is tables. Yeah, but I can't know nothing about tables. What does he say again?
I can't know how to hear any more about tables.
Do you think somebody wrote that line, or were they just having him just rip a bunch of improv wild tracks, and he just like kind of messed up, and then they just kept it?
I mean, I feel like, this is a thing he does, right? And so he probably wrote, this is his project, so I feel like his fingers are all over every aspect of this, you know what I mean? And so my feeling is he wrote something very similar to that, but it probably changed with each take a little bit. But God, that's so good.
I can't know how to hear any more about tables.
By the way, speaking of drops, and this is a weird conversation to have because I'm clearly going to make an edit in that intro that I made that we just played at the beginning of the show. First of all, I see something that says it's from Kimmy Schmidt, and I think, oh yeah, this is relatively new. I've been numbering the intros that I make for the beginning of the show, and because I don't have they're not dated, right? I don't know what year I made that.
The bullying line?
Yes, there's a bullying line that's almost like there's like kind of almost like a crypto fat joke in there that I was kind of like, we would not put that in an intro these days. What's going on? That was intro number 186 that we just played. We are currently on intro number 1054. Now, these things are heavily reused. I'm not because I'm lazy, but it's because I'm an environmentalist, and I believe very much in reusing
That's why you put that
and
sign
recycling.
up in the bathroom at your house. Please help save the whales by not asking me to make more intro packages.
But weirdly, my neighbor keeps taking the sign down, which I don't even know how he's getting in there, to be honest with you. It's really
gotta lock
irritating
those doors,
me.
man.
But yeah, it's like, oh yeah, no, Kimmy Schmidt, that's modern era of TBTL intro drop. But it's like, I don't know if my numerology talk there really stuck, but my point is, that intro is like ancient. When we were still in the 100s, not the 1000s.
And when you were apparently in a heavy-duty Jessica Simpson phase.
Yeah, I think that's too Jessica Simpson.
A lot of Jessica Simpson in there. I liked it.
It just feels so different, but I'm glad, though. I need to start tapping into, I have thousands upon thousands of little drops on my computer, yet somehow I keep on playing the same ones over and over again, I feel like.
I do the
and I don't
same
know how
thing.
that works. It's just like when you're in the flow state of building those little montages, it's just like what speaks to you. And I don't know. If you go back, sometimes like a weird Jessica Simpson on the red carpet shouting into the microphone like doesn't jump to the forefront of my mind. But actually, it does kind of work. I like the more random feel of it for sure.
My problem, and this is extremely hard to describe, not very interesting to the listeners, but is that what I will do if I'm trying to think about some drops to play is I will open up my iTunes or whatever they call it now, because that's where all the drops that I have live. I organize them by how long they are. So it starts with anything that's 1 second.
Uh-huh.
So, like Britney Spears.
Sure.
This is just these are some 1 seconders.
Big one. Steve!
Perro.
Come on! Come on! Yeah!
My brain is back.
Noise.
I love juice!
Anyway,
great.
It goes on forever and ever, but then what I do, the reason that I get stuck in some loops with my drops is because I do this thing where I scroll down, on my laptop.
Because you're not a mouse boy, right? Does this have to do with the physicality of you?
Yes,
you
I have
use
a
the mouse pad. Yeah.
There's a little trackpad built into the laptop. And I think that I have a standard amount of scrolling that I do before I start looking at the next drops, if that makes sense.
It does.
Almost like a dealer at the casino who throws the roulette ball in a certain way every time, and it kind of does the same deal. And so because I have my fingers at the top of the trackpad, and then I scroll down to the bottom. Whatever that distance is means I skip over a bunch of drops, and then I always end up at
You gotta be kidding me.
Mm-hmm.
You know why I'm here.
You're fired. Lick my fucking.
I should be.
Okay,
in
no,
this
that's
booth.
not one you play a lot. What was that? What was that one that was distorted, sort of?
That is from Lost in Translation, when I forget the exact what's going on, but I think the people that Bill Murray is working for have sent over like a call girl of some kind, or maybe a dominatrix to his hotel room.
Oh, okay.
And she wants him to rip her stocking. She's a Japanese, woman of the night.
Yeah.
And he's kind of not, he didn't order this person, their services. He's not really interested. He just kind of wants her to leave his hotel room, but she feels like she can't leave because she's been hired to have this experience with him. And so at some point she's yelling to him to rip her stockings.
Okay, can I hear it again?
Yes.
Lick my fucking.
Okay, yeah, I can hear that now.
But so what I end up doing, I don't play that one because, I don't know, it's weird. It's like the person has an accent. They are Japanese. But I think at some point, first of all, you can just tell the audio is just blown out.
Yeah.
But also it's like, I don't know how I feel about us playing audio where the joke is about an accent. I mean, I don't know if the joke is about an accent. Maybe it's not. It's just a person has been sent over to provide these sexual services for Bill Murray's character. He's not interested. It's awkward. She's trying to force him into this sort of BDSM, and we don't mean boxes, delivery, stamps, and mail. And she says, rip my stocking. But it's like, is that weird to play somebody who that's their natural accent as a drop? I don't know.
It also doesn't have a natural invitation in the, because like, let's just do it. Let's break it down. Also, this reminds me of something else that you were tempted to do recently that we still haven't done.
I know. I need to get the right computer for that.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of, the Andrew drops that you said you wanted.
Mania.
Yeah. So we won't do that today if you don't have the right computer. But I mean, rip my stocking just like on a content level, but leaving aside the sound quality or the accent or what have you. It's like you say, you always introduce the show, then you play a generic drop that sort of lays out the idea of a show or a podcast.
Yes.
Rip my stocking doesn't fit there. I guess you could say I'm Luke Burbank, rip my stocking, but it sounds it would
like
just
I'm
sound weird.
asking
It's
for
also a little
special
bit
kind of attention.
And then after that, most of the drops have to do with, hey, this is what's coming up on the show, and like there have not been a lot of stocking ripping.
Well, that's the thing. I'm waiting for the day when we have a top story about someone's stocking being ripped, and then I'm going to be laughing all the way to the bank.
Can I say something else?
Please.
Okay, what should it be? No, I was going to say, can I say something else about the drops that you just played? One of them was the one that we now play, as listeners know, we now play Power Out from our friend Linda in Australia at the end of every show. There was a period before that where we didn't play a standard drop, but in the radio days when it was you and Jen, you guys always ended the show with that drop of Nailed It. Now, when I was a listener of the show, I'm quite sure, I know this just as somebody who listened to New Hampshire, Nailed it. Play it again. I'll be quiet. You play it in the clear.
Nailed it.
I always thought that was a clip of Jen. I thought that was Jen playing Jen at the end of every episode.
Well, can you tell how weird it sounds, too? Like, there's something very off about it.
Nailed it.
It's because that clap was actually before they said nailed it in the real tape. So it was like a high five and then nailed it. But for some reason, I decided that I wanted the clap to be after they said nailed it.
That makes sense.
And
nailed it.
But do you
it's
know what
not
it's
a good
from?
edit.
Do you know what it's from?
It sounds like Strawberry Fields Forever or something. It sounds like it's been recorded backwards. I don't know what it's from. Do you know?
No, I have no idea. Like I say, I always thought it was Jen, and then at one point in the show, long before I knew you guys or met you guys or anything, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. It sounded like I could just picture Jen being like sort of off mic. This is when this was on the radio, and Cairo Radio still had that weird little phone booth that the producer would stand in to take phone calls and stuff. And I got to be in that booth a little bit before they remodeled all the studios. Yeah, but I always just sort of thought that was like Jen off mic, kind of saying one time, we nailed it, and then you guys just sort of kept it as the end of the show sort of tag. But no, apparently you grabbed this from the internet back in 2007 or 8, I'm guessing.
I feel like it was a bit that somebody did. Now, Seth Meyers wasn't a thing yet, but I feel like it was somebody like that. Oh, yeah, you know what? I think there was like somebody had a bit on their show that was called Nailed It, or maybe their internet show, although they didn't have that many internet shows back in those days.
Yeah.
I feel like
well,
that
why don't you
was
just
a
Google
thing.
Nailed It and find out.
Well,
I'm just joking.
First of all, I'm searching
it's like
it
there's
up.
no way you're
Nailed
gonna search up Nailed It and find what you're looking for.
We've got Nailed It PDX, which is a place where you can get your nails done. Nailed It Bit. That's not going to help. There is speaking of, well, I don't know, entendre. There is Nailed It is a popular Netflix reality baking competition. That's not the one that we're looking for. I bet you a listener would know. Please, where did we get Nailed It from? Some of you OGs maybe will remember. There is a billboard when you're driving in Portland for some sort of a construction company, but it is so wildly inappropriate. It's like, we nail, we screw, we finish.
Oh, wow.
It's like, whatever, champion fabricator, roofer or something. It's like, is that really
necessary?
Is that
or
really
even
what
funny?
You want? I mean, it's so, and it's even, I'm actually like, I think I'm cleaning it up a little bit. It's even like worse than that. It's like the worst sexualized entendre things. It could also be like a construction process. But then the thing is, it's like the sign just has like their logo. It's like, it's normal. It doesn't, I mean, I wouldn't feel better about it if it had like a buxom lady on it, but it's just weird because it's like, imagine a normal construction company's normal boring logo, and then just the writing is just like wildly sexualized. And I thought, is that really the image that, I mean, here I am talking about it. In fact, when we were in Ohio, you remember like because we spent so much time driving between the Airbnb and Valley City that we came to know all the billboards. And there was one that was for, I think it was like maybe it was a refinancing company or mortgage company. And it was like levels to this shit.
Oh yeah, but they bleeped out there. They
bleeped out the shit part. But it was you could tell what they were saying.
The H maybe?
Levels to this shit, and it's like, golly, do we have any decorum left?
And
in
also,
the world?
like, there's something about like editing in text. Like, okay, so sometimes on this show, you and I will be talking, and I mean, usually we just if we don't swear much on the show, only because we just generally want it to be a comfortable experience for people. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, unless you're talking about the Dodgers or something like that, then we just really let it fly. But no, but we also try not to
welcome, Mike.
we also try not to, restrain ourselves too much. So if we're in a fit of pique or something like that, and we swear, we leave it in there. Sometimes if it's a piece of tape we're playing, and like there's something about just saying the F word versus explicitly playing a piece of tape where somebody calls somebody an MFer but actually says it. I'm like, I'm not going to leave that in there. It just feels so. My point of this is sometimes I beep things out, sometimes I don't. But the point is, I think that sometimes it's called for us to beep things on this show. I don't want to be called a hypocrite here, but I've never understood, whether it's in an email or a text or in this case a billboard, the idea of writing something and then kind of beeping it, quote unquote, beeping it by replacing some letters with asterisks. Because I'm just like, if you're going to do that, find
You're
a
either
different
saying
word.
it or you're not.
Say it or not. And there's something about that billboard. I know, like, you can't have a billboard. I'm sure there are literal laws that say you can't have a billboard that has that kind of language on it unedited. But and the whole point is you're trying to get the attention, right? Like that idiot's trying to break through the noise of all the other billboards and whatever what did you say was a mortgaging company or
it was something having to do with either real estate or it wasn't personal injury, which is really where you also get some really ridiculous ones now. But it was something having to do with the home buying process. But and it was a picture of the guy, and he was just saying, "There's levels to this shit."
Yeah,
but then,
so anyway, I don't know. I've never been the type of person who's like writing an email to somebody, and then because I've received these before, and then somebody will like kind of write a swear word, but then like repeat or replace some letters. I'm just like, just say something else. In fact, as somebody who, I mean, listen, I would never claim to know what words mean, obviously, but as somebody who does enjoy words, generally speaking, I think it's especially when you're writing something, that's an opportunity to use a better word anyway. Like our swear words are rarely our most interesting words, right? I mean,
absolutely,
especially used in like the casual or standard way. I mean, you can use them. Like, listen, I'm going to swear here for a second, okay? And I'm not gonna beep this. But if I were out and about and I heard somebody else call somebody a dickweed, I would laugh so hard because I haven't heard that since the playground. So I do think that there are some swears that remain interesting and funny, but generally speaking, just like bleeping, using the word shit and then bleeping it out, just like, come on, man. Like, just it would be funnier and more creative to do something else there anyway.
Speaking of billboards, this guy in San Francisco put up this billboard in the Soma neighborhood that just says, chatdjb.org, and he's got this logo that kind of looks like, I don't know, Claude's logo or one of those ones. It says the leading chat interface powered by AI, but then there's an asterisk by AI, and it's, if you look down at the bottom of the sign, it says average individual, and it's just basically, if you go to this chatdjb.org, it just sends him a question and he answers it.
Oh my gosh, have you done this?
I haven't done it yet. I mean, you could get, it's chatdjb.org, and I guess he's getting thousands of requests a day because it's kind of going viral. But he's just answering the questions himself. He's not like Googling them or searching them up. One example of a typical entry was someone asking for a waffle recipe. Although he could have easily Googled a link for them, that's kind of against the spirit of the project. Instead, he gave them an off-the-cuff response. I think with the waffle question in particular, I just try to pull it out of my head and think, I probably got it wrong, he said. Other queries include people asking what they should name their houseplant, maybe something that suggests it will be with you forever, like immortulous or lactose intolerance. Another fun one, what to eat for dinner, with a few given ingredients. I would put the sausage in the salad and toss it with the lentils because I am really a bad cook. These are the kind of answers that he's giving people.
Well, it says now, I'm on the website now, and it says, it starts with a splash screen that says, this project got way bigger than I ever anticipated, so now it's a crowd-sourced thing. It's not just him anymore. It's not quite as fun. It reminds me, so I follow some sort of a kind of a weird bot account on Blue Sky, and I can't even think about I can't remember what it's called right now. I almost did a Tim Robinson there. I can't even think about what it's called right now. I can't know how to hear anymore about But it's interesting because it just drops like really obscure, weird links to weird websites and weird web projects into your Blue Sky, and you can just check them out. And that's the part of the internet. I know I've said this before, and it sounds like I have this like kind of like, I don't know, like semi-high-minded treatise on it or something, or a thesis on it or something, but like I do miss the days of the internet feeling like weird, and like you could just like go around the corner and stumble on something. It was like, what part of the internet did I just end up in? You know what I mean? Like, and so this little bot that kind of highlights weird websites kind of does that for me, like strange little like group participation projects where you draw a janky horse and then it goes running with all the other horses that other people are drawing. But you're doing it on your phone, so they're terrible little line drawings, but it's just fun to watch your horse gallop along with these other horses. Like, there's so many fun little websites on there. And this chat TJB thing reminds me of one that I was on where it's like you submit a question, and I'm almost wondering if this is it. Like, maybe I was on an earlier version of it or something. And no, because this was definitely community driven. Somebody would give you an answer right away, but there was some sort of edge to it. My story is totally falling apart here. But I just remember, like, usually I wake up, I open up Blue Sky, I'm laying in bed on like a Saturday or something. I'm like, what the hell is this weird thing? And then I would start submitting like questions, and then the answers were like totally ridiculous. And I always like the fact that there's somebody out there, and I think you could sign up to either be the question asker or the question answerer. And I just like the fact that, like, yeah, that's a real person on the other end of this who just received my question about cottage cheese and is going to give me a ridiculous answer.
I do like that artisanal approach to things. I was also surprised in this article in San Francisco, or SF Gate, I guess, that he only spent $6,000 on this billboard in San Francisco, which seems like kind of cheap. He said it's actually a really terrible spot for the sign because there's a tree that's growing, kind of blocking the billboard. But it's actually serendipitous because it's blocking the part about AI, so it just looks like he's got AI with an asterisk, and the part that says like average individual is blocked by the tree branches. Then they just mentioned I've got billboards on the mind because of course we did our billboard in Friendship, Wisconsin a couple of years ago and did not have any of this viral success that this guy's having. But it
turns out when you spend $50 on a billboard, it doesn't get the same kind of traction.
I believe we spent. Wasn't it a couple of grand?
We spend? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. But one of the reasons we ended up there was because we were looking for a place we could afford a billboard, and it turns out this rural route right outside of Friendship, Wisconsin, filled the bill.
But they mentioned in the article, just in passing, that the billboards that are closer to that are on the freeway in San Francisco are $150,000 a month.
What in the world? How is that possible?
Right? There's levels to this shit.
That's what I'm going to beep that just for fun.
Thank you, baby.
All right, let's thank some of our daily donors. These folks are donating to TBTL, and that's how we're able to do this thing. 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year, 100% listener-supported podcasting. I don't know how it's working all these years later as we set our sights on the 5,000th episode. I don't know how this has persisted, but nevertheless, it has. Thanks to folks like Amanda Wilhelm, like the Scream, in Linwood, Washington.
That's the pronouncer that they submitted. So wouldn't it be pronounced Walshhelm then? Isn't that the Scream that everybody knows?
That's right. You know, obviously the Walshhelm has fully replaced the Wilhelm.
Nobody even remembers the Wilhelm Scream.
No, this one's
there you go.
There we go.
If you're not supposed to be here, just give me a sign. If you're not supposed to be here, just give me a sign.
What's going
on? I'm grimy. I'm slimy. I need a shower. And I've got a garbage situation.
What you're doing on this show is awful for humanity.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Hey, can I just say here, I've been scrolling and I found that Blue Sky account. Yeah, I was talking about that introduces you to weird and wonderful sites. Now, there's a reason I couldn't remember the name of it. It's called VJ's Virtual Vibes. And VJ is VIJAY. VJ's Virtual Vibes, if you want to check it out. It's a really fun follow.
Thanks also to Sarah Norper of Brooklyn, New York.
Hey, I've been to Brooklyn. People kind of consider me kind of like a Brooklynite because I went there that one time with you.
Oh, yeah. Remember we did the show there. That was really fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Jason Clarendon is over in Tacoma, Washington.
Oh, Tacoma.
Thanks, Jason.
I love Tacoma.
Clarendon, like wasn't he the Secretary of the Navy at one point? Wasn't Clarendon a big Clarendon Navy? I wonder any relation to Jason. Let's see.
Do they mention Jason?
Clarendon, let's see. The USS Clarendon was a World War II U.S. Navy attack transport ship.
Jason is probably related to the ship, right?
That's what I'm thinking. Yes, exactly.
Hey, can I ask you a question about boats and ships? This relates to a word game. This is going back a couple of weeks now. But here's one thing you need to know. One thing you need to know about me is I publicly don't play Wordle or Connections anymore.
You've stuck with that.
But I secretly play it. So I don't like share it, and I don't try to get streaks or anything. I'm just like very weak tea, like dipping in on those apps every now and then being like almost every day except for one, just to show them I'm still mad at them about Pshaw. But the Connections game, you remember that one, right? It's a grid
that's the
of
one that
4x4.
I like that game. If I play one of those New York Times games, that's the one that I'll play.
It's also the one it's got one main editor. I can't remember her name, and it sometimes she gets so tricksy, and not in a. It almost seems like it's not good sportsmanship, sort of like in a bad way, and so. People have some real issues sometimes with the connection clues or the answers or whatever. This one I'm going to lay on you is not a big deal. This goes back away, so I can't remember the exact layout of it or what the question was, but essentially. The answer was places with nets, right? So that was like, so it was like you have, for people don't know how to play.
The category was places with nets.
You have a grid of 16 squares, and there's a different word or phrase in each square, and you got to figure out 4 groups of 4 and how these words and phrases sort of clump together. But it can be something like, oh, they all start with a name, you know what I mean? Like, they all start with a male name or something like that. Anyway, it's fun. It's fun to figure it out, but also sometimes it's like really infuriating. And one of them was places with nets. It was like I don't know, tennis court, something else, and fishing boat. And I'm like, I don't think a boat is a place. Now, it didn't really affect the game. I didn't get hung up on it or burned on it or anything. And they could have also just changed the language. They could have said things associated with nets. You know what I mean? So I'm not like mad at it. But generally speaking, when you're playing this game that you sort of feel like is always trying to get you, trying to outsmart you because we know words of the New York Times. That's kind of pshaw. And maybe now I hear it. Maybe I am the problem.
No, you were my friend. You were like the day that happened. You brought it to our attention, and then it blew up on the internet.
Oh, the pshaw thing. Oh, yeah.
You were like the canary in the coal mine on that, my friend.
But I do sort of feel like if they're like, hey, we are the ones who create the puzzles because we're the ones who, I have this little hang up in my head about it. I'm like, maybe don't call a boat a place, but I also think that it's worth talking about because I'm not quite strident about it. I just think it's an interesting question. Like, is a car a place? I would say no, a car is an object. But if somebody said, where were you when you heard that guy who sounded like Michael Barbaro, I might say I was in my car. So in that case, it is sort of a place. It's an answer of where I was.
I don't think you say places with nets and it's a boat. It would be, like you said, you would need to sort of say things associated with nets or things where a net might be present.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the next one should just be things where a lady named Annette likes to go.
I was going to say, when you said places where a net might be present, I'd be like, beach blanket bingo.
Yes, Funicello.
Exactly.
Most famous Annette? Well, Annette Bening.
Oh, yeah. It's funny. I think Funicello, but that's because I'm a boomer.
Okay, boomer. Hey, thanks to Susan Goodwin in Seattle, Washington, for supporting the show.
Now, any relation to John Goodwin, your colleague?
I don't
at
think so, because I think they're in Philadelphia, and he's also actively asked his family to not support the show, which I think is hurtful.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Because I've been on his show a bunch of times.
Oh, that's right. He has a podcast.
He produces a podcast. A guy named Shay in Irving, who's like a power caller to the phooey, I can't believe him. Dan Patrick show.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Dan Patrick's radio show. Shay in Irving is a beloved caller on that show. So much so that he now has his own podcast that people listen to that I'm occasionally on. So the fact that John would specifically tell his family members to not support the show hurts.
Yeah.
But Susan, thank you for your support.
Absolutely. Thank you, Susan.
Thanks to Lori Hope.
Oh.
Of Mukilteo, Washington.
That's a familiar name. Thank you, Lori.
And then Kathleen Lockhart is in Buffalo Grove, Illinois. You can't roller skate in a Buffalo Grove.
What is that again? Oh, is that, was that John Prine or something?
No, it sounds like a John Prine song, but it's Roger Miller. You can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. You can't roller skate in a buffalo herd.
What was the Buffalo Stance song?
That's Nana Cherry.
Nana Cherry, yeah.
You're looking good today. You're looking good in every way. You know, this actually happened to Becca and I in the car the other day. She started singing a Buffalo song, and I go, "Oh, are you doing Buffalo Soldier?" Bob Marley. She's like, "No." I go, "Are you doing Buffalo Stance by Nana Cherry?" She's like, "No." We went through like 6 Buffalo songs before we got to the Buffalo song she was doing.
Very evocative, Buffalo.
Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful word and a beautiful place, Buffalo Grove, Illinois, which is where Kathleen Lockhart is. Kathleen, thank you so much. And thank you to all of our donors for making TBTL possible today.
Hello and welcome to Top Story.
Andrew, I've got an opportunity for you, an email that just dropped into my TBTL account. Hi, Luke. Hope you're well. Reaching out today to float a story idea for TBTL as holiday trends are beginning to shape up. And food and beverage brands are tapping into new ways to show up in consumers' homes. I mean, that's right there. First of all, one of our big problems on the show is we don't plan our holiday programming far enough in advance.
No, I'm thinking about working on it over the weekend, but I'll let you know.
And we've done almost nothing to help F&B brands. That's literally what they write, F&B brands, to figure out new ways to show up in consumers' homes.
Yeah.
Sargento, the family-owned Wisconsin cheese company, recently launched a year-long partnership with American Idol Season 24 winner Hannah Harper. Andrew, would you believe it? This makes Sargento the exclusive cheese sponsor of Hannah Harper from American Idol. I know, throughout the week, you keep, and I'm like, I'm gonna find out, but you keep emailing me going, who is the official cheese sponsor of Hannah Harper?
And this is how I'm gonna find out. This sounds. I'm looking. Do I have any? Can you even read this without hearing this voice in your head?
Hello, no one is available.
Oh, sorry, not that voice.
Leave a message.
Yeah, after this.
Hello, Lukey B. It's your agent, Mort calling. Pick up.
No, I can't. Every sentence you read from this sounds like your agent Mort.
Sargento is the exclusive cheese sponsor of her nationwide string cheese tour. I guess her tour is called the String Cheese Tour. You can get the full details in the press release right here, but TLDR, this means a wrapped tour bus plus cheese for the family and crew throughout the tour and even more. As part of the partnership, Hannah is designing a co-branded holiday merch item exclusively available on the Sargento website. It'll be a cozy, kitchen-ready collab that I think would make for a really fun holiday segment. I'd love to explore how this Sargento and Hannah Harper collab could fit into any conversations you're having around holiday hosting, holiday gift guides, or interview opportunities you may be planning for later this year. Happy to connect and chat more if interested. Signed, account executive from the Ogilvy Agency.
Do you think we could do a holiday gift guide, a TBTL holiday gift guide? Can I tell you something? I was talking to you a while back about a vacuum that I'm very interested in getting, which I still haven't gotten, by the way.
Which
the Hoto.
Is now constantly showing up in my Instagram feed.
Oh, because you
I
Googled
looked it up.
Oh, that's funny.
I Googled it. Now it's everywhere on my feed.
The Hoto. It's like a handheld vacuum cleaner. Hoto, about the size of about a large flashlight. And it has a vacuum function, but also you can put the attachment on the other end and use it almost like a compressed air situation to blow, like, crumbs and stuff out of the crevices of your car or wherever you're using it. Ooh, wherever. Car is a place. Wherever you're using it. All that is to say, and I'm sorry that it has been a while, I can't remember who it was, but after that show posted, I believe later that day, I got a note from somebody who said, that is the perfect gift for my husband whose birthday is this weekend. Thank you. I just got the Hoto for him. And I'm like, you know what? We do talk about a lot of products. Now, I'm not talking about like any kind of like
monetizing it. It's not going to be our Amazon store or whatever.
No, or affinity program. I was approached
affiliate.
Yeah, isn't it? Is it affiliate or is it affiliate program?
I don't know.
I was approached by somebody actually for Spotless about doing I thought you're right. It's affiliate, not affinity. What's the difference anyway? But I feel like we do talk about a lot of stuff on this show. We could probably do a TBTL holiday gift guide.
Lord knows. I mean, I'm consuming for the both of us.
Yeah.
So I might as well try to do something useful with that information, maybe put a little something together. I did a TV story last year about holiday gift guides that was actually sort of turned out okay. I talked about it on the show, but went to this place in Portland that makes dog toys and things out of like recycled materials, including inner tube tires from like bicycles. And they make great dog toys. And it's actually a very cool operation because they've got a bunch of people working there in Portland making the stuff, and people love the product, and there was lots of cute dogs there, and like it seemed like a win-win-win. They were win-win-winning.
I wonder if they could make us a new Jeff. Did I tell you that Lucy's first favorite dog toy, because Genevieve would like kind of bring home a bunch. She goes to Goodwill and gets like, unused dog toys and stuff, and one of them, you just never know what's going to stick, right? And the one that Lucy loved the most, especially when she was a very small puppy, but continued to, it's out of circulation now because it started to get ripped, and Genevieve wanted to save it, kind of like a baby book situation, because it was her first like really favorite toy. But it was a little rubber toy that you could hold in your hand, not very big at all. But it basically was like a rubber dog, but it looked like a Jeff Koons kind of struck.
That's
You know
what
what I
you
mean?
called it, the Jeff Koons thing,
So we just
right?
called it Jeff. It was just like, go get
yeah.
Jeff. And Lucy very early on learned what Jeff meant. She'd go get Jeff,
my
go get
gosh.
Jeff, and she'd come back with Jeff or whatever. And so we sort of put that aside. I wonder if your recycled rubber toy company could make us a new Jeff, because we cannot find one. For real, we've gone online. Like I think Genevieve found one, but it was like on
Was it
eBay
actually a
for
knockoff of the? I mean, was it intentionally designed to look like the Jeff Koons statue?
No, I think it's just supposed to look like a balloon animal, because isn't that basically what he's doing? Like he's doing big structures.
Yeah, he's
of balloon
doing like a balloon
animal,
animal
so.
dog, but it's made out of diamonds.
Yeah, no, it was a little inside joke that we thought was a little bit clever. But anyway,
Now,
yeah.
I'm thinking Rudy's favorite. You're right that like you just never know what they're going to fixate on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and we got her all kinds of fun toys, and like the thing that she loved was like lamb chops. You remember like Sherry? Forget her last name, but she had the like puppet that was named Lamb Chops. That was a lammy.
Yeah, what was it? Sherry something in Lamb Chop. Yeah,
Sherry something, and
Yeah.
I think her daughter might actually do it now.
Oh, really?
But anyway,
Is it Lewis? No joke. Is it Sherry Lewis?
I
Sherry
think you're
Lewis
right.
and Lamb Chop? Yeah, okay.
And they make these like giant, just stuffed. I mean, giant, pretty big stuffed dogs or I guess stuffed lambs that look like Lamb Chop that are not a puppet. And we just called it Lammy. And Rudy freaking loved that thing.
Lammy,
She would just
yeah.
carry it around all day
Yeah.
long in her mouth, and then sleep on it sometimes, and just like, go get your Lammy. She'd like, if you come home and she was excited. By the way, update, she's doing great. She's
Oh, good.
13.
Nice.
And according to Carrie, spry as ever. Nobody
Good.
can believe that she's 13. So for people wondering, Rude Dog is still going strong. But yeah, like you'd come in the door and she'd be so excited to see you that, and I don't know if Lucy has this tendency yet or if it's just a lab thing, but she would have to have something in her mouth, almost like as a stim or something like
Yeah.
that. So you come in the door, she's like, whole body is wagging,
Yeah.
so excited, but then runs out of the room to go find something to come back, and she's got like a lammy in her mouth, still doing the whole wiggle thing, just like couldn't process her excitement and had to go get something to chew on while she's that excited.
It's so funny, the wiggle thing. See, I guess as never having a dog before, I didn't know what were commonalities amongst dogs and what were Lucy traits. But, when Lucy was a puppy and she'd be excited to see us, she would jump on us. And so, of course, that's not good. You don't want her jumping on people when she's excited, even though, that's always the toughest part of training for me, because I loved her jumping on me, especially as a little puppy, right? But you have to be like, no. And so you just turn your back on her and not give her any stimulation. And so she has learned now to like kind of grab the other thing she does, because she's got a lot of varying kinds of shepherd in her. She likes to shepherd us around the house when she's excited and kind of nip at your heel or your pant cuff or something like that. But she now knows not to do that. So she gets a toy in her mouth and then she sort of keeps pushing the toy into your leg, which is, an improvement or whatever. But the thing about the wiggling is interesting, because she would jump up on us and we trained her not to do that. We would just turn our back and be like, so now when she's excited to see us, she does that. She just full body wiggles, and I call her Captain Wiggles. I'm like, oh, there's my captain, because she's just like, he just Captain Wiggles it out. And I didn't know that that's what all dogs do when you teach them not to jump. Their whole body, she just doesn't know she can't contain herself.
Can't contain her joy dough.
Can't contain her joy dough.
Here I go once again with the email. Every week, I hope that it's from a female. Oh, man. It's not from a female.
I already presented my email for the day, which was our opportunity to partner with Sargento and Hannah
Thank
Harper.
you.
So
Appreciate that.
I don't know if you have something you'd like to add to it, but I'm booking that for next week if you're cool with it.
Yeah, no, that sounds.
Try to get our holiday stories kind of lined up.
That sounds fantastic. I'm actually hosting. You're out tomorrow, so I'm hosting with Phyllis. I was going to do that
nice.
story, but if you want to hang, you don't want me doing that when you're out, right? You want to save that.
No,
for when
I'd
you're
really
here.
kind of feel better. I want to supervise you while you're talking about it.
No, that
I know you
is-
get weird around the topic of cheese.
Yeah, no, that is fair. I mean, you did George R.R. Martin when I was out, but whatever, that's fine. I'll hold.
Who, by the way, a couple of
Sargento for
weeks
you.
ago, he's like that poor guy. I guess he's working on his final book. I mean, he's really writing it, but he has to keep frantically putting up these sort of irregular and slightly erratic posts on his blog, where he basically just says like, this isn't a joke. He's like, I've been dealing with depression. I've been dealing with, losing some close friends of mine. He's approaching his 80s. It's just kind of like, I'm still working on the book.
The Winds of
can't post
Winter,
it.
right? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, and it's just like this, it's such a strange thing because it's like, he wrote these really awesome books that people love so much, and his kind of reward for that is that certain people are really obsessed with if he's going to finish it or not. And I feel like almost before I even heard about Game of Thrones, I heard about the pressure on George R.R. Martin to write the final book.
Yeah.
Like that was almost the story before like the HBO show came out, at least. And I've never actually read the books. I think you have, right?
Mhm, yeah, I read the ones that are out, of course.
But I mean, it's like to have. I don't think he has writer's block, but he's just going at his pace. But for it to be something that so many fans are so kind of obsessed with and waiting for you and asking, I remember literally the article I read about him many years ago was that like he's a football fan, and he'd be like, I think he was like a San Diego Chargers fan or something, and he'd be like at a Chargers game, and then people would be getting mad at him online because why are you at a football game when you should be writing the end of this book?
And it got complicated because then the show had to finish the narrative arc without the books as guidance, and the show got worse and worse. So there's some real toxicity around that. And I would agree. I'm a critic of the way the last couple of seasons of that show ended up going, and certainly the way the story ended. I think it was a disappointment to a lot of people. But then it's like, well, then wait, but the book, it diverged so much from the books by the last couple of seasons, and they left so much out. So in a certain way, you do want Winds of Winter to wrap up the story that the books were telling, but in a certain way, it's just like all the air is just out of the balloon now. It must be so hard to return to that. So I understand that. Speaking of conversations that are probably long over, but let's reopen them now.
Love it.
I have two voicemails here. I pulled these off the voicemail line months and months ago. I mean, a long time ago. And they're both listed as tissue boxes. Now, I'm assuming I don't remember what's in these. One is from a listener named Bryce. One is from somebody who didn't leave their name, apparently. And do you know remember my little stance on modern tissue boxes? It's okay if you don't.
were saying that the color should change as you're almost running out?
No, that is something that I
you don't
like
like
about the old school ones. But no, my problem is these, and it might be a Costco thing, I'm not sure, but we get these, I'm holding it up, only you can see this today, but just like growing up, we had long, flat boxes of tissue, sort of, but now it seems like we buy, I don't know if this is just the standard now, more like square boxes of Kleenex or tissues or whatever. And the first couple are okay, and then you get to a point in the box where like they're just folded funky, and then they start like you have to like restart the box a bunch, or they just like they're packaged weird inside where suddenly like they're not easy to get out, or you pull one and like a whole bunch come out with you. This usually starts happening
even
about
you
halfway.
talking about it. It's not cotton balls, but it's close enough.
Close enough. It's giving you the
It makes the hair stand up on my arms. I can't, like the idea of reaching in and grabbing a bunch of tissue. It's like, it feels like it has a potential for a high frequency kind of squeak to it. Like again, for me, the worst one is cotton balls. Grabbing a cotton balls out of a bag of cotton balls. That, oh my gosh, like I'm not doing this for effect. The goosebumps on my arm of even just like saying that are intense.
It's funny. I know I have triggers like that, but not this at all. I can't really associate with that. I won't describe it more, but I know what you're talking about with cotton balls, but it's not a bad feeling for me. So forget all that. Pretend this is a box of blackboards. Okay, so you reach in with your nails, and you're just scratching away looking for a blackboard.
Sure.
Okay, is that better?
Searching for a blackboard.
So anyway, I just think that
like, where's he going with this? Oh, okay.
I just think that tissue boxes are bunk these days, and they just don't make them right, and you have to like dig in there, and like I don't know what's going on with it. And so I have two people who want to weigh in on that. I am guessing because I saved these voicemails, but I don't know if they're agreeing or disagreeing with me. Let's go with the longer one first and then the shorter one.
Okay.
Oh, Andrew, so many thoughts.
That's a good start. I've never heard somebody so passionate saying my name like that.
In the bathroom.
Oh, Andrew, so many thoughts on the tissue box conundrum, as I like to call it. I thought your problem was going to be with the cube as a volume or size, and I'm a big fan of the cube. But I have a different issue that I've noticed, and I'm curious if you have. Not only is there trouble getting the little box to release my tissue, but at some point, sometimes you'll pull and I don't know, it feels like the whole final quarter of the box comes out.
Yep.
Have you ever had to reload the cube tissue box?
Yes, I have.
And so your issue with the tissue has me wondering, isn't this probably just a consumer problem? Isn't this a consumption thing? They're trying to get us to use more tissues than we need, or in your case, not use tissues we need, so we buy more tissues. So when I'm trying to use one or two at a time, I'm getting 20, and now I'm like, oh my God, and I don't want to, where am I going to hold these tissues? They're out of their container. I just have to throw it away, similar to the hand towel in the bathroom that releases 30 hand towels instead of one. But for you, maybe it's that they're hoping you're going to throw away 20 good tissues. And again, all back to consumerism here. This is the problem with the man trying to keep us down. I don't know. I'm just asking questions. I hope this helps.
Just doing his own research.
Sure.
Bryce in California.
Thanks, Bryce. You got to study it out. I love a good conspiracy theory. I think it's just bad craftsmanship. I think it's just the
How are we getting worse at this, though? I mean, we can fake putting a man on the moon.
We can slam misguided projectiles into the moon.
You know, why isn't the technology of how the tissues come out of the box getting better by the year? Why does it seem like it's getting worse?
Why? Yeah, they should have something where the tissues actually come out of my nose now. One nostril, I pull a tissue out, and then I blow the other nostril with it.
Why did they because I feel like the like you're talking about the flat tissue box of our youth. That seems like we don't do that anymore.
No, why do we not do that?
Why did that? Why
it takes
did we
up
stop
too
doing
much
that?
surface space. Maybe I'm somebody who does prize space, and maybe by building taller, not unlike urban density. Luke, we got to build up, not out. Okay, I have one more. This is a shorter voicemail on the same topic.
Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know, Andrew, you are so right. The cube boxes for tissue are no good. I believe it has something to do with the way that they're folded, how tightly they're folded together. And once you get so far down into it, the weight of the remaining tissues aren't enough to keep them separated. They just don't want to separate as easy as the flat boxes. But there is hope. Costco does sell Kirkland brand flat boxes, thin boxes, and they do have the color coding where the last couple of tissues are blue to let you know that you need a new box. Thanks, guys. Love the show. Bye.
Maybe I'll talk
would that be enough to get you into the aisles of a Costco?
Well, these come from Costco, but it's Genevieve who does the shopping, so I could ask her how she feels about the flat boxes as opposed to the square ones. Can I just say, though, after listening to those two voicemails, I have a question for our listeners. Why can't you all just call and say how right we are all the time? And agree
how
with
right
us?
you are. I mean, I feel like there was I have to be honest. There was much more engagement around the topic of tissue boxes than I expected.
Than you expected.
We clearly have a demo.
Fair enough. Yeah. So, of course, I deleted all the ones that didn't agree with me, I'm sure.
Yes, or the ones that agreed with me.
Shot those right. I don't think that we had a disagreement on the tissue box situation.
Oh, but if we did, I'm sure you'd have your thumb on the scale.
I'd send them right to the moon.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, thank you, everybody, for having my back. I mean, God, I need more of that in my life. I feel, God.
I don't think I've ever purchased a box of tissues in my entire life.
I'm
I
sorry?
think I just use paper towels.
Oh, really? Well, that's how I end up with that little extra square that we were talking about. You know, how I always have that extra square of paper towel because I do use paper towels a lot, but I also think I blow my nose a lot more than you do.
Yeah, and I like a paper towel for blowing my nose because if I gotta do it, it's gonna be an event. I need something rugged, something brawny.
Yeah, and your little nose is okay with that. That's the thing. I do it too, but I know people are like, "How can you use a paper towel on your nose? It's so rough."
One day I'll tell you, I got into the most insane closet reorg the other day just because I needed somewhere to put paper towel rolls.
It's one of those things you weren't planning on reorging, but then one little thing leads to another.
I lost an entire day.
Yes.
On this. It started with I could put them on this shelf in the closet, but then what are those doing there? And then just pulled the entire thing out.
Next thing you know, you're going to Goodwill. You're dropping a bunch of stuff off that you pulled.
Andrew, I literally have a bunch of Goodwill stuff in an blue IKEA bag in the back of my car that I'm going to take down to the Goodwill from this project.
I know this.
All right, that's going to do it for today's show. But guess what? We're going to be right back here tomorrow with more Imaginary Radio. Our friend P. Fletch is going to fill in for me. So everybody do tune in for that. I'll be back here.
Don't say fill in because then we have to pay her. Just say she's going to be my guest. That's
okay.
A legal loophole there.
She'll have the honor. Our friend P. Fletch will have the honor, the sacred honor of being on TBTL. So tune in for that. In the meantime, have a great Wednesday, everybody. Take care of yourselves. And please remember, no mountain too tall.
And good luck to all.
Power out.